Welcome back. I hesitate to use your precious time listening this weekend. Have a great Labor Day, by the way. On this idiot Colin Kaepernick, quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. That issue kind of went viral where he won't stand during the playing of the national anthem. He reinforces the stereotype of the dumb jock. And I'm not suggesting that all athletes are dumb, but you've heard that term. That guy's just a dumb jock. Meaning he can play football, but he's as dumb as a box of rocks. That's Colin Kaepernick. So rather than waste a lot of time talking about him, I want to read to you something out of the Daily Signal by Jarrett Stepman. It's on Frederick Douglass. And the title is, Unlike the NFL's Colin Kaepernick, Frederick Douglass loved the Star-Spangled Banner. National Football League player Colin Kaepernick created a stir on Friday when he refused to stand for the national anthem at the start of a preseason game. The San Francisco 49ers quarterback cited the prevalence of racism and oppression in America as a primary reason he sat during the playing of the song. The Bay Area football star has been fading over the last few years, and he'll likely be doing a lot of sitting this season for the national anthem or otherwise. But Kaepernick's protest has initiated a national debate over patriotism and respect for the American flag. The Star-Spangled Banner was written by Francis Scott Key during the War of 1812. It was officially adopted as the national anthem in 1931 and has been a staple at sport events for more than a century. The song is filled with martial and patriotic references, finishing with a stanza that makes an ode to America as the land of the free and the home of the brave. To a majority of Americans, the Star-Spangled Banner is a moving tribute to what the country represents: freedom, duty, bravery, and commitment to the men and women serving in the armed forces. Clearly, Kaepernick, who makes millions of dollars playing the game he loves, has a different view of what the over two-century song represents. Quote this from Kaepernick: "I'm not going to stand up to show pride in the flag for a country that oppresses black people and people of color," Kaepernick told the NFL media. "To me, this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder." Lambasting the Star-Spangled Banner isn't a new phenomenon. Liberal groups and commentators have tried to get the tune replaced for years, citing racism. Key was a slave owner, Francis Scott Key, and the inherent militarism of the song. An op-ed in The Intercept supported Kaepernick's actions by dredging up a few stanzas since removed from the modern rendition of the anthem that explicitly mentioned slavery. Columnist John Schwartz wrote that the song literally celebrates the murder of African Americans. Hyperbolic reaction to one of America's oldest patriotic songs fly in the face of what perhaps a dwindling number of Americans understand. Although the American Republic was founded with many imperfections and contradictions, such as the institution of slavery, the timeless principles laid at its foundation have led to more human prosperity for a wider variety of people than any civilization in human history. Frederick Douglass, an escaped slave who played a crucial role in the abolitionist movement in the mid-19th century, had been a frequent critic of American policy and the existence of the peculiar institution. However, he believed that the dearly held principles of the Declaration of Independence and its unequivocal statement that all men are created equal would eventually lead to slavery's dissolution. Douglass pulled no punches in criticizing slavery as a massive contradiction in American life, but he understood the evils of the system would be corrected by embracing the country's origins rather than rejecting them. He encouraged Black Americans to sign up and fight for the Union under the American flag during the Civil War. He played a crucial role in recruitment efforts and convinced many former slaves to serve in the military and embrace the United States as the vessel, not the thwarter, of freedom. Douglass was known to frequently play the Star-Spangled Banner on his violin for his grandchildren. In the years after the war, he said in an 1871 speech at Arlington National Cemetery that, quote, "If the Star-Spangled Banner floats only over free American citizens in every quarter of the land, and our country has before it a long and glorious career of justice, liberty, and civilization, we are indebted to the unselfish devotion of the noble army." For the most part, fans and players in the NFL embrace a similar view of the United States. Rashid Jennings, a black athlete who played for the NFL's New York Giants, channeled Douglas in his support of the national anthem and the American flag. He, meaning Jennings, told the New York Daily News, quote, "It's nice to know that we live in a country where sitting down during the anthem won't land you in jail or worse," end quote. Jennings said he was proud to stand for the song and continued to explain why he supports the values contained in its verses. "I figure if it was the intention of our founding fathers to keep America a nation of slaves, then they wouldn't have chosen a song where all 4 verses end with the land of the free and the home of the brave instead of the land of the free and the home of the slave." Jennings' teammates made a point to stand at attention for the national anthem during a Saturday night game against the New York Jets. Gallup polls indicates there has been a rapid decline of American pride in their country in recent years, a dangerous slide for a multi-ethnic republic bound together by principles and institutions rather than national origin. Kaepernick's outright attack on what the American flag exemplifies is just the latest sad episode of Americans' abandonment of the hallmarks of their unity and love of country. That is why it is important for Americans who still believe in what the country was founded on, stand and support the symbols of our way of life. Again, from the Daily Signal, a piece entitled, "Unlike the NFL's Colin Kaepernick, Frederick Douglass loved the Star-Spangled Banner," by Jared Stepman. Few comments. First of all, I love this country. I wear that on my sleeve. I salute the flag every chance I get. And, you know, it just disgusts me. And this isn't an issue of rights, by the way. This is not an issue of rights. He has the freedom to express himself. It is not a right. Your rights only pertain to what the government cannot do to infringe on your freedom of expression. The San Francisco 49ers and the NFL are not government. They can have clauses, they can have rules that say you will stand during the national anthem. I'm really shocked that they don't. It's about decorum and comportment, for heaven's sakes. All the San Francisco 49ers had to do, Chip Kelly, shame on him. Let's go over to Kaepernick, because I understand now this is the 3rd game this season, this preseason, that he didn't do it. Don't tell me Chip Kelly didn't know, that somebody didn't tell him. And he should have gone over and grabbed Kaepernick by the jersey and say, "Look, son, this is a team. We do things together. We stand during the national anthem. You don't have to put your hand over your heart. You don't have to lip sync the words if you don't believe it, but you will stand out of respect, not only for your country, but for your teammates. And if you do that again, you're going to be fined. And if you do it again after that, you're going to be suspended indefinitely for conduct detrimental to the team." And the NFL should have the same rule. You will stand at attention during the national anthem, or you will be fined and or suspended. That's all that needs to happen here. Shame on Roger Goodell. He gave some milquetoast statement. Well, we respect, we don't have a rule. And Chip Kelly, well, we respect his right. This is not a rights issue. And that's all I'm going to have to say about that idiot Kaepernick.
You know the majority of women.
Maybe women are smarter than men, and that's why they vote socialist.
Maybe you.
Maybe you what?
Maybe smarter than you. Now.
I don't mind if a woman's smart. I don't feel threatened by a smart, intelligent woman.
Yeah, my wife. You're stay at home.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, like,
she raises the kids, yeah.
Oh, but I have to raise kids. If I have kids, I can't work.
You don't have to have kids. But if you have a kid, you gotta love the kid. You try to give him the best.
But do you love the kid?
Yeah, that's why my.
Do you work?
Yeah, that's my wife.
Okay, so why don't you raise them too?
Because my wife is at home raising them.
I think you like Saudi Arabia.
Because I don't want them to go into a nursing, to have someone else raise them, and someone has to make the money.
Holy shit! Can you check your privilege? Stop interrupting me. I am a woman and I can talk to you.
Stop talk.
interrupting
Then
me.
talk. Then talk.
Okay, can you stop interrupting me?
Go ahead.
Okay. I want you to go home.
No.